Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing the notion of whether or not Thailand should create immigration courts. And I was talking to an American colleague regarding U.S. immigration about a week and a half ago, and we were kind of discussing the immigration court system, especially how it had been overcrowded in the past few years. It had sort of gotten clogged up in a certain way. And just kind of generally discussing the immigration court system. In the aftermath of that conversation, I was kind of thinking to myself, hey, should Thailand maybe think about an immigration court system? And obviously, I'm just kind of thinking out loud here, but it's an interesting point to posit. I think it actually could be a major benefit to the overall immigration apparatus. And for those who are unaware, for example, in the United States, there are immigration courts. And those who are deemed, like if you're getting deported, there's a certain level of due process associated with the immigration court. They're interesting courts insofar as they operate under Article 1 of the Constitution, not Article 3. So immigration court judges are not like federal judges in the federal judiciary. They operate directly under the auspices of the executive branch, and that's a little bit of a different function. But by and large, they have an adjudicatory function like any other court. And there is an appellate system. You can go up to BIA, the Board of Immigration Appeals. And all of this just sort of exists. And my thinking was, should Thailand maybe think about something akin to this? And in certain ways, I think it could be a major benefit. As it sits right now, in point of fact, Thailand doesn't have a really organized system for deporting folks. Yes, there is an enforcement apparatus. We have done a number of videos on this channel regarding that, and how folks can be arrested and deported, how they can be found to be an overstay. But, for example, with overstay, I don't really see how exactly. Well, immigration courts in the United States do adjudicate matters regarding overstay. That might be something an immigration court could deal with. There is a due process system in Thailand. We've done some videos on this. There's a commission that can be appealed to if one is being subjected to deportation. More often than not, what we often see with respect to folks who can't maintain status here in Thailand is they oftentimes are just not renewed on their non-immigrant visa. But another point of this is, what about folks who might get blacklisted as a result of being deported? And my thinking on this is kind of where the rubber hit the road in my brain regarding immigration court, is it might not be a terrible idea because the blacklist can have a lot of finality, and frankly, finality that might not necessarily be deserved on the part of the person who inadvertently, the thing that I've seen that's sad since they've instituted the blacklisting rules, and that's going back 5-6 years now, they put that in. When the blacklisting rules first came into effect, and they still are here with respect to this. For example, if you're on one-day overstay, and I've seen this happen, and you get apprehended or you have a dealing with a police officer, you can end up being deported and end up having a 5-year blacklisting just from a one-day overstay. I actually saw this in the context of a traffic accident. Somebody was overstayed by, I think it was like 3 days. They were in a traffic accident. They got sort of pulled in to the sort of law enforcement system. It became clear they were on overstay. The matter was referred to immigration, and they were deported, and they got stuck with a 5-year overstay, and they really weren't an otherwise bad actor. And to me, it seems like having sort of a court to be able to sort of air one's it's not a grievance, but to be able to sort of tell their side of the story and maybe ask for some level of amnesty or some kind of remedy in the form of not being, for example, not just deported. Maybe deportation is in order, but having a blacklisting the last 5 years for a 3-day overstay, that seems like overkill to me. Now, law is law, and the way it's applied in practice is it can sometimes happen where it's kind of a harsh reality that comes out at the end. But an immigration court, I could definitely see a scenario where they could have sort of a mitigating impact on some of these more extreme outlying circumstances and end up creating a lot of value for especially with respect to sort of, for lack of a better term, goodwill on the part of foreign nationals looking to vacation here or live here long term. At the same time, it would also create, in my opinion, a stronger substructure of the legal system associated with Thai immigration.